All right, everyone. This video is kind of expanding the idea of scatter plots and looking at what kind of relationship we have with these plots. And if there is a relationship, is it positive or negative? So on your note packet under exercise 1, it says use the following scatter plots to answer the three questions. And the three questions that I have here in the upper right, right over here, they are on your note packet right above where it says exercise 1. So what we want to do is we want to look at each one of these graphs and say, well, does the scatter plot, if we were to draw a line of best fit, if we were to kind of, to look at these points as a grouping, would it form a linear line? Is the relationship linear? Okay. And if I take the first one here, here's my x-axis, here's my y-axis, and it really doesn't matter what these are standing for. See, I just have these numbers down here, 50, 100, 150, etc., and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. over here on the y-axis. And if I could imagine, taking a line, and we're getting a little bit ahead of what we're doing, but if I could imagine taking a line and just kind of trying to sketch a common relationship or a common path to these lines. You notice I've touched this one, and I've touched this line, or this point, and I've got 2 points above the line, and I've got 3 points below the line. So that would be a pretty good estimation of the general flow, right, of these points. Okay. And if you want to say, is there a relationship with this data? Well, I would say yes, because you can draw this line of best fit in here, and it makes sense with all of these points. All right. Is the relationship linear? Well, yeah, what I drew is a linear line. So I would say, and I'm just going to number them over here. Is there a relationship? I'm going to say yes. Number 2, is the relationship linear? I'm going to say yes again, because this is a nice straight diagonal line here. And number 3, oh, that's a good 3. Number 3 is, if it is linear, is it positive or negative? And this is really the new idea of today. Is that a positive relationship or a negative relationship? Well, if it goes up to the right, then it is a positive relationship. Okay, so that is definitely positive. If it goes down to the right, that's going to be negative. All right, so that's pretty easy. Let's look at the next one here. What about this relationship? If I were going to draw in a line, could I draw in a line that would? Oops, hold on. Could I draw in a line that could touch a lot of these points? Okay, and keep most. Well, not most, but some on one side and some on the other. Okay, and if I do that, notice I've got like 3 or 4 points over here and 3 or 4, maybe 5 points over here. All right, so number 1, is there a relationship? I'm going to say yes again. There's definitely a relationship there. Number 2, is it linear? Well, yeah. See this line right here? That really brings those points together in one kind of direction here. So I'm going to say yes again, it is linear. And number 3, is it positive or negative? Well, this is going down to the right, so that means that this is a negative relationship. So on your note packet, make sure you're labeling 1, 2, and 3 here, because when you go to look at it later, when you go to study, you go to do the assignment tomorrow, then you're going to want to know, which answers go with which questions from above. Okay, so this would be like question number 1, question number 2, and question number 3. Okay, so anyway, let's take a look at the next one. We'll turn that one on, turn this one off. Now, this one is kind of different. Okay, this one, if I try to draw a line, I could do this. Oops, oh, I did it again. Hold on. Okay, I could do this and draw a line kind of right through here, and that actually, that kind of works. I'm really close to this one, really close to this one, really close to this one. I've got 3 points over here. I've got 3 points over here. But really, do you see how far away these are from that line? I could also do this and really get the same result, right? Look, I went through one of the points, and I've got 3 points over here and 3 points over here. So to me, since you can draw more than one line that really kind of fits. I mean, I could do the same thing. I could draw one right down the middle, right? I could go through this point and get really close to this point and have three over here and three over here. There really is no relationship, okay, to this one. There's no one sense of this is the direction they all kind of go with. All right. So once you say no, then these others, well, there is no relationship, so it's not linear, and I can't say if it's positive or negative. So as soon as you say no, yeah, there's really no use of looking at the other two. Okay. All right, we have a few others. Let me turn that one off and this one back on here. Now, this one's kind of interesting. This one, if you kind of sit back and look at it as a whole, oh man, I keep doing that. Hold on. It kind of does this kind of thing. All right, if I try to hit all of those points, as many as possible, it kind of does that kind of thing. And we've looked at problems like that before. That's kind of like a parabolic shape, right? Like a parabola. All right. So is there a relationship? Well, I'm going to say yes, there is a relationship. Okay. Number two, is the relationship linear? Well, no. There is a relationship, but it's not linear. Okay. And once it's not linear, well, I really can't answer that because I'm saying it's not linear. Okay. So you could get some that will end up looking like that kind of shape as well. All right, we have another one. Let's turn that one on. This one, wow, look at all those points. Look at all those points. I could pretty much draw any line. Boy, you'd think I'd learn after the first 4 times, right? Any line. I could draw it like that. I could draw it like this. Oh, that's a nice color. I like that one. I could draw it like that. I could draw it where, I don't know, another boom, 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 boom. Oh, I guess that's pretty much it. But I could draw any one of those lines. I'm going to hit a lot of points. I'm going to get some on one side, some on the other. So again, is there a relationship? I'm going to say no. There is no relationship. So that immediately gets rid of those two questions right there. Okay? Because again, I could draw multiple lines through there and it would really work. Okay? So yeah, no relationship there. I don't even want to draw those lines in. Okay, it doesn't make sense. All right, we have another one, I thought, and maybe I need to get rid of, hold on, let me get rid of that, and let me get this one on here. Okay, here's exercise 2. I think there is one more graph on there, but I don't seem to have it up here right now. That's okay. We'll just go on to exercise 2, and we have the 2 scatter plots, and I'll bring one up in a minute here. But it says we want to identify the outliers and the clusters. All right, so here's the first one. And I've got a definition there on the note packet. An outlier is pretty easier. If you think of someone that's an outlier, they're out away from other people. Okay, so in this one, I would say that's an outlier and that is an outlier. Okay, so I'll do those in that nice turquoise. You go ahead and label those as outliers. And clusters, I'll switch over to this other color here. This is a nice kind of dark purple here. The clusters, it just what you think a cluster is. A cluster is when you group a bunch of objects or data points or whatever together. So I would say right in here, that would be a nice cluster. Okay, and you can label that. If you wanted to, you could even take these two and say that's a cluster. But usually you want more than 2 to be a cluster. I would definitely say this one is a cluster of points as well. All right. If you didn't notice already, though, this is the weight in pounds of, I believe this is a person. I don't have the sheet right in front of me. And the height in inches. Okay, and it makes sense. The more weight you have, usually the more height you have. So anyway, it makes sense that they're going this way. All right. Let's get the other one up here. Take the other one off. This is results from blood glucose lab results. And again, we want to do the same thing. Let me go to this other. Are there any outliers? I'll do that in that nice turquoise, kind of light turquoise kind of shape or color. And that right there definitely is an outlier. Okay, so I would definitely label that an outlier. And clusters, those are pretty easy to see as well. We'll do that one in this other color. I mean, this this has got to be a big cluster of points right there. Okay, so that happens whenever you have a bunch of real data. You're going to get outliers. You're going to get clusters of data that are grouped together, and a lot of times what they do is if you have an outlier, they'll just disregard that outlier. Okay, they'll say maybe the test for that one was bad, or maybe it was done wrong, or maybe something happened where it affected the results. But it depends on the test or the data or the survey that you're taking, whether you're going to include those outliers or not. All right. So basically today it's just identifying, do you have some kind of relationship? Is that relationship linear or not? And also, is it a positive or negative relationship? All right. And that was pretty easy. And then these others, just can you identify outliers and can you identify clusters of data? All right. So hopefully that was pretty straightforward for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.